Hello people of the world, welcome back. Thought I'd go over a quick video on immunity. I've been meaning to do this for months, but for various reasons I haven't had a chance to, including health reasons, but I'm going to give you a very brief summary, okay? Which is extremely simplified. Okay? That is because immunity is actually extremely complicated, and with a full lecture description of it, a full explanation would take literally hours, okay? Probably at least 5-6 hours easily, because you have to learn a lot of genetics, a lot of chemistry. It's immensely complicated. A lot of protein biochemistry, a lot of protein structure. It's an awful lot to learn. Genetics, biochemistry, protein structure, protein biochemistry, chemistry. So yeah, I'm giving you an extremely simplified brief summary, okay? I have previously, during lockdown, during the pandemic, I tried to explain this to, I've explained even simpler version to at least 2 or 3 acquaintances and friends, and each time they shut the conversation or they shut my description down about less than halfway through, which upset me. I think it's because it's actually a lot more complicated than they realise, but I was still giving them an even more simplified version than what I'm going to do now. So anyway, there are at least, there's sort of around about 10 to the power of 15 to 10 to the power of 18 antibodies, okay? This is a short abbreviation for antibodies. You go ABS, antibodies, that's the short technical way of putting it. There's between 10 to the power of 15 to 10 to the power of 18 antibodies made, okay? During an immune response. Okay? Yeah, I should say it is extremely complicated. Immunity is very complicated, okay? You can't explain it in fully. I'm going to give you a very brief summary. Yeah, it would take hours normally. So basically, a virus infects you, okay? That's the virus, okay? You have cells called macrophages, given the symbol that, eat the virus, okay? They engulf it, so you get, this is the macrophage, so you get the virus is inside, okay, that's broken down, okay. This then displays the virus on the surface of itself, okay. It displays what's called the antigen. That's the name of the protein, part of the virus, which is being targeted, which is a bit of the virus, basically bit of the virus or bacteria, okay? Okay. So it's the bit of, that's the antigen is the bit of virus or bacteria that's used to make the antibodies. So what then happens is you then get this thing then leads to cells called, that's how you spell lymphocytes, which are B cells, okay? And there's about 2 times 10 to the 12 of those in your body, okay? So that process, macrophage engulfs virus, virus is broken down, it displays the bits of virus on its surface. That then leads to lymphocyte B cells being activated, okay? the lymphocytes, okay, they display so you got, that's the virus, okay, that thing is attached to receptors. So on the surface of the lymphocytes you get approximately 10 to the 5 antibodies, okay. So yeah, these B cells, the B cells make antibodies, okay. On the surface of these, antibodies are put, okay, on this membrane surface, and there's about 100,000 of them on the surface, okay, on the surface. Okay, so that's virus there attaching to antibody. This then results in, so that's the lymphocyte. So you get, that's the virus, okay? That's more, these Y-shaped things are antibodies. So then what then happens is these are activated. The lymphocytes make these lymphocytes, they release antibodies, okay? Antibodies are released. Okay, antibodies are Y-shaped. So an antibody molecule is this shape, okay? Y-shaped. That end binds the cell surface, and this end, that's called the FC end. It stands for fragment crystallization. I think it comes from the fact that they crystallize with the cell. It joins onto the cell. That stands for fragment antigen binding, okay? Small ab. That end binds to the antigen, a bit of virus, okay? FAB. That binds to the bit of antigen virus, binds the virus or bacteria, okay? Okay, so that's an antibody, they're Y-shaped molecules, proteins. So, yeah, the lymphocytes then release antibodies that are made. Some of them bind to the surface, some of them are released in the blood, okay? What then happens is, further cells called phagocytes then these are called phagocytes. They have antibodies in the surface and antibodies in the blood which bind the virus, okay? They engulf virus or bacteria until all are destroyed, okay? So these release the antibodies. The lymphocytes, the B cells release antibodies which then bind more viruses. The phagocytes then come along and grab hold of the viruses with, they grab hold of the antibodies with the virus attached, okay? And they engulf them and destroy them. And so your body basically continues this process. The body continues this process until all the virus in your body has been destroyed, okay? If it successfully destroys all the virus before the virus can take over your body, then you have no symptoms. That's why some people have antibodies, but they have absolutely no symptoms, because their immune system has destroyed the virus through this process. If the virus overwhelms your body before this process can destroy the virus, it's enough, then you get symptoms of illness, and the very worst case scenario is you die. Okay, so yeah, the phagocytes basically, so this process continues until all virus or bacteria are destroyed. Okay. One beta cell, one B cell, that's the lymphocytes. Okay. They make about, they release 2,000 antibodies per second, okay, which equals 172 170,800,000 antibodies per day, okay, which equals 1.2 billion antibodies per week. Okay, so yeah, one cell, one beta lymphocyte releases 2,000 antibodies a second, 170,800,000 per day, and 1.2 billion a week. Okay, so given the fact there's about 2 trillion beta cells in your body, you have so you have 10 times 10 to the 9, sorry, 10 times 10 billion, 10 to the 9 equals 1 billion, so 10 billion beta cells will create 10 to the 17 to 10 to the 19 antibodies per week. Okay, so basically, yeah, one beta cell makes 1.2 billion antibodies a week. Given the fact there's about 10, this number, okay, 10 times 10 to the 9 in total, you get this number of antibodies in total per week made, 10 to the 17, 10 to the 17 to 10 to the 19. The numbers are astronomical, an absolutely huge number of antibodies made. So yeah, there's also the total number of possible antibody varieties. Remember, when I say this is the number that are made, they're all identical, but the number of different varieties of antibody that can target different viruses, whether flu, cold, coronavirus, or pneumonia, or bacteria or other bacteria, is actually a similar number range. It's about 10 to the power 17 to 10 to the power 19. So number of different antibodies is enormous, is astronomical. The number of antibody numbers that can be made during an immune response is enormous, which is why a good immune system will defeat virtually any microbe. So yeah, that's basically virus. In bacterial infection, there's also another process, okay, that occurs. Something called, you get the antibody response plus something called the complement system, because it complements the antibody system. That's the, okay, complement system. Okay, so it consists of a number of proteins, okay. And what they do, this is just very simplistic, but if you have a bacteria cell, okay, bacteria cell, okay, they form a ring around the surface of it, okay. And they punch a hole in the surface of the cell, which destroys it, okay, which kills bacteria. So that's the complement system. So this works in addition to the antibodies. Bunch of proteins form a ring which punch a hole in the surface of the bacteria and kill it. Okay, so that's basically a summary of immunity. Very brief summary. You can't really see. Try to keep these in. Very brief summary of how immunity works. Okay, it's extremely simplified. I think when I said to the acquaintance, I simply said cells eat viruses, virus broken down, that then is used to make the antibodies, which is released, which grab hold of more virus, and the cells then grab hold of the antibodies attached to the virus and take them and destroy them. That's what I said, and they shut it down before it said it all. A good, powerful immune system will defeat any virus and bacteria. There are some people you meet who are never ill ever, and it's because their immune systems are so powerful. Have a good day. Please like, subscribe, comment, help me get to 1,000. Thank you.